I implore you to put joy at the forefront, to put happiness at the forefront, to seek opportunities that maybe you didn't think you could handle, but knowing that you will gain the confidence when you show up.
Constructing your life is about much more than just building a bank account. Each week, join real estate entrepreneur and mindset coach Austin Linney as he interviews guests who are constructing their dream lives and impacting the world around them on a daily basis. If you're an entrepreneur or wanting to start a business, or you just want to hear motivating stories of how others have overcome the odds, you are in the right place. And now for your host, Austin Linney.
Guys, welcome. You have me today, just a solo episode, no interviews. And I come today to share a message with you. I've thought about this for almost 2 years. That's right, 2 years. But I'm creating this podcast and giving you a message, and I'm going to share a little bit about what's going on with me. But I've decided to take a pause with the podcast. This will be the 800th episode. I'm going to rebrand the podcast into my name, but I'm going to take a little pause. And it's been like 6.5 years between all the podcasts I've launched, all the ones I've been on. I've been on like 1,400 podcasts in like 6 years. So many videos, so many people listen, so many interviews, so many great people. And man, what a blessing. You know, I started this podcast in the midst of losing my job, getting divorced. And I really shared who I was, what I was doing, my career. You've watched me grow. You've watched me change careers. So many people have come on the podcast. So many people have listened. And it's really given me so much. It was really a curiosity to learn from people, to learn different aspects. And so I have grown within the podcast, and I feel like this chapter of the podcast has lived its time. And a lot of times we continue to go on with things, even though we know that we've kind of lost our passion for it. I haven't lost the passion for the podcast, but I've lost passion for this version of the podcast. I believe this was my addiction story, my divorce story, my changing from real estate to more business. And through that, I was interviewing 9 people a day for 3 days a week in the beginning. I did 200 episodes, 240 episodes in my first year. And now we're at 800, which is this. And I can't thank you enough, everybody that's listened. And I would love to continue it on, but I need a month or two break because I need that gap in between in the shift of the new energy. I want to come up with new ideas. I want to be extremely formatted in what I do. I want to be intentionally focused. And the lessons that I have learned are to bet on yourself. When your back's up against the wall, just understand that, reach out to somebody and understand that nothing can be overcome. You can always, if you're the one that got you there, you're the one that has the key to get you out. These are just some of the small lessons. And what you're going to listen to earlier in the week, if you listened, was my original story on episode 10. When I was understanding my addiction and getting over that and getting out of my marriage. And, Mark, my producer, said, do you want to tell your story today? And I do. And, the story today is I'm a person who, even in this last year, has healed more than I ever have. And that's because I leaned in to do the hard work. I hired a therapist. I went deeper into my childhood. And I'm somebody who is more me, more at my core than I've ever been before. And that's because I've asked myself the hard questions. That's because I've been in rooms I don't think I belong in. That's because I've taken on responsibility that I didn't know I could handle. And that's all because I've chose the hard path that becomes the easy path, not the easy path. And then it becomes hard. And so there's a lot of change in my business right now. There's a lot of discovery in what I'm doing in business development. and sales coaching and business consulting, and I'm looking into selling. There's so many different things, and I don't have a full episode to explain to you all the things that are going in. Frankly, they're not that important, because the only thing that matters is that I'm happy. And my hope to you is that you can chase joy, right? Every other metric is downstream of chasing happiness, joy, and being around positive people. It doesn't matter how much money you plan to make next year if you're unhappy. It doesn't matter how much money you plan to make next year if you're unhealthy in your mind and in your body. And so I implore you to put joy at the forefront, to put happiness at the forefront, to seek opportunities that maybe you didn't think you could handle, but knowing that you will gain the confidence when you show up. And so every single person that listened, that came on, that has followed me in this journey, the journey's not over. This journey's just taking a breather. I'm putting the Ferrari in the garage for a minute, and we're going to upgrade the tires, the oil, and everything. And so how many people in your life do you continually drag on something that you're not passionate about fully and completely in the container that it's in? And so maybe this is time and a message for you and an inspiration to maybe take a pause and reflect on where you're going and get new tires and get new fuel. Because you can't walk into the new year in the same version of yourself that you were. And so I wanted to record this podcast so you heard it from me and understood where I'm coming from. But know this, I grew up in this podcast. I grew up because of this, and I can't wait for the next version of this to continue to have the amazing conversations and the amazing breakthroughs. And I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your day when you have so many choices to come on to interview with me or speak with me or listen or all the things that you've done. And this is my message to you, that we're not saying goodbye. We're just saying, I'll see you later. So I hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope that you go back and listen to all the episodes. We have so much to learn still in there. And I'll see you soon.